I'll
we
say
can
hello and stuff.
while our peeps file in.
Ah, the fucking.
We got peeps. They keep coming back.
I ain't about them, knows about us, though, innit?
Yeah, you're right.
It's about hanging out with your boy and playing the games, having fun. And what a fucking fun week it's been.
Indeed.
Oh my god. That
you know,
meme, I sent you a meme through the week and it was exactly what I did.
Yeah, just what was that the Zoidberg freakout?
Yeah,
The one that you sent me.
Zoidberg just losing his shit. Foaming at the mouth, clicking these fucking things.
Yeah, I've found out a little more. Apparently, the card game in FF7 Rebirth is going to be called Queen's Blood.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that's a reference to, but that's what supposedly it's called, and it looks very triple triady. I'm kind of excited.
Well, I'll always take card games.
Yeah, card game. We like card games. We like mini games, especially in our Final Fantasy.
I especially like Final Fantasy card games. I've got a full box sitting, waiting to be opened when we've got some time.
I know, man. We absolutely do need to find time for that.
Yeah.
Who else can we get involved? Who still plays
Oh
among from the
man.
crew?
I mean, there's plenty of people that know how to play that we could absolutely rope in. Like, I'm sure we could get Florin. I'm sure we could get uh, fucking Kino.
Sounds good.
If he didn't used to play, then he'll learn to play quick, because man's sharp.
It's not a hard game.
That, and he's not a done dude.
Nope, definitely not.
I mean, Beeb's always welcome to come, he knows that. Again, a master of deciphering obscure game rules and shit with all the indies that he plays, so I'm sure he'll be able to decipher a card game, no bother.
Yeah, and Bebop back in his Yu-Gi-Oh days. I don't know if this is private information or not, but he used to play a mean harpy deck.
Did you say herpes?
Yeah, he did. He liked some harpy lady.
Stop saying herpes. Yu-Gi-Oh! Also, series, man. God tier.
Speaking of memes, as you've probably seen over the course of today and yesterday, I've discovered a wealth of Armored Core memes.
Yeah, it really has been the armored score. Every time it comes in, I'm like, okay, that one was a 6. That one was good. The last one you sent me was hard work. That was the thinking man's meme.
Oh, do you mean the grid of character references?
Yeah, that was the thinking man's meme.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, who the fuck is K9621? Wait a minute, no, wait.
That's because you're a hound, you're a good boy.
Yeah, I get it now. Because, you know, I saw Gunnery Sergeant Hartman, I was like, Gunnery Sergeant Michigan? What the fuck is that? Is it because that's what he acts like? Oh, it is? Oh, they're all like that? Right, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, and like, I mean, the ones that you wouldn't get, like Iguazu and Snail and Carla are all Gundam characters. So as well as the test pilot as well. All Mind was that film Ex Machina. Have you ever seen that?
I've not seen it, but I saw the posters and trailers when it come out and just thought, not for me.
Mate, it is fucked. It is a singularity nightmare.
I tell you what, I did watch this week though. That is absolutely fun.
And of course, Balteus the Filter.
Love that guy. There is something that I watched this week that I don't know if you're going to be happy or sad. It just sort of came on, and it was too interesting to put off. But I do feel like it would have been fun to watch it with you.
Right.
Something that you've recommended quite highly several times in the past. I finally watched that fucking Ray Stevenson Punisher movie.
So it might not have been me that recommended it, because I don't recommend that movie at all. I much prefer the Tom Jane one.
Oh, maybe that's what I was thinking of instead. Dude, the Ray Stevenson one, though, that is the funniest movie I've seen in a long time. I was howling laughing. Oh my god, when he puts his legs on the chandelier and just starts spinning around. Oh, so good. So good. That movie's ridiculous. I recommend anybody watches on Netflix. It is absolute dog shit. But you know, like fun dog shit.
So something that's surprisingly not dog shit that I've been watching recently is I sat One Piece live animation,
I've just finished it
and
myself.
I know fuck all about One Piece. I won't. I was quite good.
Do you know something, man? I'm in the same boat as you. I'm coming into this with literally no perspective. The character, like the art style and shit, never appealed to me to draw me in to check it out that way. The
Yeah.
one time, anytime I saw like one of the fights on like top 10 anime best fight compilations, the
Uh-huh.
anime's actual animation style was just like a bunch of fucking color and blurs and shit, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? I can't actually follow what's happening. It's just colorful. So that was never for me. And then as soon as you start to think like, oh yeah, I could maybe read it. How many chapters are there? Oh, okay, maybe not.
Maybe not.
So this was like it's nice to have like a fresh medium for people to jump in, and this is pure normie bait, right? It is like the normie
Yeah.
introduction to One Piece, which is already like one of the best selling franchises ever. But anyway, so I went into it having sold 100 million volumes of the manga, but never reading one, hearing about it for years, but never giving a fuck, and having very low expectations because the quality of media that we have been given in the last, I'd say, close to 10 years now, has just been absolute garbage fire, dog shit, abysmal.
Oh, the anime adaptations, live action adaptations that we've had over the past few years have been just a cavalcade of shit.
There's been a few exceptions, all right. Dynasty Warriors gets its props.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if I would say that was an anime, given that it's based on a game based on Chinese
All
mythology
right,
and stuff.
that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
But like to pull out a few real stinkers, the Cowboy Bebop one, that
Oh,
one hurt. That one hurt because I really like the original series,
now
and they entirely missed the point.
I might be wrong here. You might want to look this up, but there is something rattling around in my skull saying that the people that made One Piece is the same team.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we don't hit all the shots we take, I suppose, if that is the
Well,
case.
well, here's the thing. If it is the same company, what was the one thing that was different between the Cowboy Bebop adaptation and this one? It was that in this one, the original writer kept creative control and started going, no, stop that, stop changing that, bad,
Yep.
naughty. All right, you can truncate that, but we've still got to do this. God damn it, we're doing it my way.
Yeah. The other thing, and I think this really did help, was like all of the characters in it. They were all quite. Yeah, they were mostly anime stereotypes, but the stereotypes had to come from somewhere, and probably came from the source material.
Yeah.
And we have like Zoro, who's a total edge lord, literally so edgy that he has more swords than he has hands.
And even like, I like that a lot of the time in the show, characters are written. There isn't one character that is the stand-in for the audience. They all
Uh,
stand in for the audience. So,
uh,
you'll be like, three swords? The fuck did he do with those? And then Monkey will be like, where does the third one go? And then as you find out where the third one goes, he's like, "Oh, that's where it goes." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Monkey. I'm right there with you." And that kind of that helps you build a camaraderie with the characters and feel almost like part of the crew as well, because you're reacting the exact same way that they are to the exact same thing that's happening. And it's really fun. It's a fun show. It's fun.
yeah, it was
When was the last
very
time?
fun, like throughout.
When was the last time you had fun watching a TV show, man? Like, do you remember that? That used to be a thing. Now,
And
like in the last 10 years, they just want you to feel fucking guilty.
And the guy that they've got playing Luffy, Iñaki Godoy, hope I'm pronouncing that right.
No shot.
He no shot, no. Um, but he is a joy to watch on screen.
Yeah,
Because like, you
there's
know, because he'll just like turn around and look at the camera, and he has this wee smile to go,
he's
oh shit, he's
yeah,
going to say something dumb, isn't he?
he's got a really
or
interesting face.
uh, and
Like,
like given how like over the top the animated character is, because I have seen like snippets and things. You know, he's kind of got that whole you know effort, you know, the effortless confidence anime pro tag thing down,
that's the thing, right?
but modest too.
One of the things that I really liked about this show was, and that character in particular, was just how, in a world that is so like fucked up and violent, he's really nice, and you're like, oh, why is he like that? And then you find out later on, oh, it's because he's powerful enough to be able to be like that, and that is a choice he's
Uh,
making actively.
yeah, he sees some of the responsibility of the power that he has.
Yeah, and yeah, I really appreciated that. None of the characters were perfect. They all had their flaws, but in the end, all of them I came around to like 80% of the crew. Still not really feeling Usopp or Nami yet.
Yeah, I mean, Usopp, I quite endeared to like over the, you know, over the course of it, like towards the end of the series. Um, yeah, I was there, but he took some getting there for me.
He absolutely is that guy. You've been to Tenerife, he's been to 20 Reef,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and ugh, just ugh. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I actually had to deal with a person like that, it would just become a game of like, what bullshit can I make up to see what bullshit he counters with?
And I'm guessing with Nami, I'm guessing that it's just we need more of her story, because we got the fact that, you know, she's she's pretty much out for herself the whole time without delving into spoiler territory.
Or is she? Ooh,
Yeah.
character arcs.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I think the thing that really sold the show to me was performances, all round performances. Like, how many times have you seen the fucking hyper confident, quiet edge lord sword boy be done?
Hmm.
So to do it in a way that's
Yeah.
actually endearing, like I actually like Zoro, and for it to be done in a way that's actually endearing now in the sea of like edgelord sword boys that are just like, oh, shut the fuck up. Even Cloud out in everything except remake, I'm just like, oh my god, shut the fuck up,
Well,
dude.
see, like the thing as well, like we get, not only do we get to see, you know, the Edge Lord's sword boy, we also get to see what happens when Edge Lord sword boy comes up against Edge Master Sword Lord.
Dude, I fucking love that guy.
Mihawk is so cool.
Anytime he's on screen is an absolute joy. That guy just he is rocking that performance.
Yep.
Like
You see him in the opening scenes, like when like Gold Roger's getting executed, and you catch sight of him just like in among the crowd, and you see that like the immaculate pointy beard,
oh, it's so good.
the jaggy sideburns, and you say, oh, look at him, he's an anime.
It's the size of the sword that does it for me, really.
Uh, See, apparently, I looked up like throughout the show when we were watching it. I was looking up like Google searches of what these characters look like in the original animation, and if anything, they cut his sword down a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. No, I did also look up to see what he looks like in the anime, and yeah, it has
Yeah,
been cut down a bit. But it's not like
it
as
is a whole ass cross.
Yeah, but as like anime and ridiculous as it is, and as anime and ridiculous as the show is, it still didn't seem like unbelievable. If you
Yeah.
follow, I think they scaled it to an appropriate size. The other sword that he's got, speaking of size, Jesus Christ, I didn't expect that, and I was howling. That was great.
Oh, it was
And it's
brilliant.
it's the line he delivers and the way he delivers it. I
Yeah.
don't hunt rabbits with a cannon. Oh my God, he's right though.
Yeah, he's. Do you know he's a total air of Castlevania about him as well.
Mm, yeah, I thought you were going to say he has the potential to be the heir to Snape in terms of like y- I forget the actor's name now, and I feel bad for doing it because he's such a
Alan
legend.
Rickman.
Alan Rickman,
Alan
that's it.
Rickman. Yeah.
Yeah, he feels like he has that kind of Alan Rickman delivery where like he is just so above everything.
Yeah. He's just sitting on a fucking cloud up there,
Yeah,
gazing down at us all.
you're lucky that he is even able to see you to talk to you. Never mind the fact that he's actually using muscles to form words for you.
Some people might even consider it a privilege that it was him that was sent after them.
I mean, yeah, fuck if some dude's gotta kill you, it could be some like drug-addled, piss-stained lunatic that just breaks into your house because he saw some chocolate through your window, or it could be a suave gentleman pirate who doesn't hunt rabbits with a cannon. What a line! What a line!
Who,
Really?
who's also been shown in a preceding scene fighting a whole ass war by himself by the looks of things.
Yeah.
And he's just on the fucking snailophone or whatever they call them, just like yeah, I'm kind of busy just now.
Man did a blade beam.
Yeah, he did. He split a ship.
He just did a whole ass blade beam, and I was like, God damn.
Someone is an avid fan of Barnabas Thumb.
Mm, just wow. Actually, okay, here's a good question for you then, right? Coming away from it, both of us, as people that were never introduced to this series before, the live action adaptation, One Piece, we're talking about for anybody that's joined. Uh, what would you like top three characters for you? Who have you came
So
away with the most endeared to, and who left the most of an impact? Who do you want to see again? That's
so I right. So I can't really rank them. I don't think like. I think if I had to put someone in number one spot, it would probably be Luffy himself.
okay.
And like I know we're going to see a lot more of him. Obviously, as the central character of the whole thing, but I'm just looking forward to seeing more of what happens next. Like what character arcs and things he's going to go through with the others, how the crew will grow and all that, and how he'll respond to realizing that he's got this romanticized notion of what being a pirate captain's going to be, but then realizing that actually there's a lot more work to it than he might have thought.
Mm. So yeah, he's definitely one of the more interesting characters, but I do think that a majority of the reason that people are going to like him is because of the way he's played by. The fuck move was that? That was amazing. Uh,
That was the triple slash thing, the Dance of Wrath, I think it's called. It's the best move in the game, but you
yeah,
go do it when you're surrounded because you will literally, like Cloud does in Remake, zip between three targets.
amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
Right. Yeah, so I feel like his performance was particularly endearing, and that's why it's easy to like him because you're supposed to like the pro tag, right?
Hmm.
So I don't know if I almost go into stuff like wanting the pro tag for me has always got to try a bit harder to get me to like him because I'm
Uh-huh.
going to be spending so much time with them. They have to be interesting and multifaceted, and that's why Clive will forever be one of my. Even if 16 is not really a great game, and the more I think back on it, the more I'm like, fuck, that was like a 5 or a 6 game. But characters were so good, so good. Um, yeah, it's just super important to have somebody that you can actually follow.
Yeah. for sure. I mean, like, FF16 wins a lot on its set pieces. I would say as much as the characters, but the characters are who take us through those moments. So yeah, they are way important.
Do you know what it is for me for 16? It's everything that I see about Rebirth makes me more and more sad about 16 because I'm like, oh, look at these huge open
Yeah,
environments that we can actually find stuff in. Oh my god,
what
look
might
at
have
all these
been.
mini games. Oh my god,
Yeah,
look at all these different chocobos that I can do interesting different things with.
yeah. Look at these tower things that don't show the map, but they do tell you where there's potentially side quests.
Look at these interactable party members that I can actually like do stuff with in battle that aren't just tanking jobbers while I focus down the big guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like the more I see about Rebirth, the more I'm like, ah, that's just a better version though. And it's so soon. It's so soon. The recency bias is getting hammered for this one.
And the thing is as well, like the battle system that we've seen in remake, the the one in remake was good. The one in rebirth just looks like an evolution in every way,
Mm. Yeah.
and it's gonna like I think when we do get it, it is gonna throw 16 into sharp relief, and people might have they might have like kind of second thoughts. Is it going to pass the long term refrigerator test?
This is such a straight white male interpretation of media, but
Yeah.
if right, remake I think is going to end up being the Final Fantasy trilogy's Batman Begins, and that
Mm.
at the time there was nothing else like it, and it was so hype, and it set the way for something so big. But then The Dark Knight came out, and now if you go back
Mm.
and try and watch Batman Begins, you're like, oh, this is boring. Go fight Joker. Go fight Bane.
So you think it's going to reduce remake in our estimations?
I don't think it's going to reduce remaking the estimations in terms of like, the way you're looking back at 16 and going like, oh no, a lot of that game was just being purely carried by the characters. Remake's always going to have value. It's always going to have value. I just think that in terms of the actual game experience, Rebirth looks like it's going to be just the absolute refined, perfected version of that. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's like the difference between, I don't know, Devil May Cry 3 and Devil May Cry 5. 5 is
Yeah.
obviously the superior game, but I would still go back and play 3.
Yeah. It has its place, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
absolutely, it has its place, but it's just been bested by time, which in theory all games should be. But that doesn't mean that, their place in history is devalued by that. It just means that in certain scenarios, like with Final Fantasy 16, we are getting the recency bias and the emotional bias that we feel towards it examined real hard, real fast, and that's kind of uncomfortable. Most people
Yeah,
want
just a bit.
like a couple of years before they look back on a game and go, was it actually good? Maybe not actually.
In
You
the
know?
cold light of day, yeah.
Yeah, but this one's just like, all right, you had your fun. This one, I feel like I've just met someone really nice. We've went back to their place. We've had a beautiful time together, and then they've just got up and immediately went for a shower, and now they're not talking to me. I'm just like, wait a minute, am I even that attracted to them? I'm starting to sober up.
Yeah. Was this a mistake?
I should have just went home. Oh well, at least I got a good story out of it.
Yep.
That's kind of the way I feel about it.
But yeah, like you're right on. Like as we say, it's carried by the characters and the set pieces, whereas I keep saying remake, which is rebirth, is it looks like it's casting its net wide. Like, see, when it comes to, like, we were saying that from that previous trailer, that it looked like it might be like horizon baiting. And in the footage that we've seen at TGS, we now know that that is exactly what it is doing.
Yes, actually, that's a good segue because I thought tonight we could go over some TGS shit.
Yeah, let's do that.
Shall we get a list of people that have announced stuff? I've got a lot to say about Capcom.
Yeah, we could start. We could start there.
None of it's good.
One of at least one of them was good for me. And you know which one it is.
You're a fool. You're a foolish fool.
A foolish fool. You think so?
Absolutely.
False prophet, you say?
Do you know what? Let's just we will start with that, and I believe that was the game that they started with. So let's just jump straight in. Dragon's dog shit too. Are you fucking telling me, my friend, that I'm supposed to be excited by a game where when they finally get a chance to show me what they have been working on gameplay improvement wise, we spend at least 5 minutes talking about how a fucking fast travel system's going to work? Is it that big of an improvement for the series? I know it is, but is it that innovative, really?
It so is. So
enough to dedicate 5 minutes to showing me what's sitting in a cart has multiple functions.
And the thing is as well, like, see, the fact that they spent time on that shows that they kind of know the fan base to a degree, because one of the biggest criticisms of DD1 was the way that you travelled the world. They did kind of fix it when they did revisions to the game. You basically got a teleport stone that you could place down, and at any time you could zip back to that point. And I think there was other places that you could activate as other teleport stones that you could go between, and it was like bonfires, really. But in the original cut of the game, you had to basically just like forge out on the road and walk to these places, which seems like a cool exploratory thing at first. And then you get to the point where you spend literally an hour crossing the map to get to there's one quest in particular that makes you do this. To literally go from one side of the map to a peninsula that's on the other side and further north, and expects you to not only walk there and do the dungeon that's there, but have been like saving the entire time, to and like to have all the resources that you need on that particular journey, and you get there and you do the thing, and then you get like the quest to hand in, and then you realize you have to go back the way you came for up to an hour.
Yeah. See,
yeah,
that is... I get that is the dog shit that was in the first Dragon's dog shit that they are trying to show off and be like... It's kind of what I was saying about Monster Hunter World, where like they have to show Legiacrus, guys. They have to show it to show that they've fixed it. They had to show it to show that they've fixed it. I get it. But at the same time, it's a fucking fast travel system in a modern RPG.
Yeah.
Fuck off, show me a monster.
They're getting... It seems that they were like getting that out of the way just to say, right, guys, we know this is something that people felt strongly about. There is a clearly defined fast travel system in the game. This is how it works, and I do kind of appreciate that in a sense. But like, I do get what you mean. Like, if you're playing a high fantasy game of this sort of type, you want to see monsters, you want to see combat, and
show me cool shit my character can do.
Yeah, and it did go into that with the vocation system. I think they just didn't want to be done for use of the word job or class.
There's only so many words left.
Enemies.
There's only so many words left in the English
Yeah.
language. But
Aye.
that's
The thesaurus is getting mighty thin.
see, the thing was though, by the time they started showing off that cool shit, I was kind of glazed over because they were telling me
You were
for five
checked out.
minutes. Yeah, because they were telling me about how old man fucking Merryweather's going to sit in the back of the cart and just tell you about the good old days. If you, but you can press a button and you'll just close your eyes and ignore him. Or you can wake
Yeah.
up at any time and he'd be like, "I remember back in my day," and you're like, "Oh, great." It's the Final Fantasy 15 self-driving car, the fucking Tesla, but it's a horse and cart. But you've got the option to just shut it down. Magic.
So speaking of magic, that was actually one major criticism that I have of the footage that we saw. Magic looks fucking shit.
It didn't look
Right?
special, did it?
To like, and I'm not talking about the spells because the spells that we've seen in the trailers looked fairly spectacular, like the big, the high cast spells, if you like. You know, your 6th and 7th level motherfuckers. Those spells look pretty good in the trailers. Like the guy in the first trailer that we saw, it literally just calls down a meteor and it blasts into the pack of enemies. Just chef's kiss. But they showed you that you literally have to channel a spell, a big spell, to make it go off, and the channeling takes time. It's frames of animation that you have to go through, and the higher level the spell, the more powerful the spell, the more channeling that you have to do, which basically just means it's going to be spent slowly backpedaling away from enemies trying to melee you, and dying in the attempt like 5 times out of 10.
And I will tell you exactly what Dragon's Dogma 2 can't do that another exciting game that's coming out can do. I bet you Dragon's Dogma doesn't have a button where if you press it, a handsome man with a big sword will come and protect you while you're trying to cast a spell. There's another game I know that's coming out that does that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks really good.
it does. It looks really good. and we have the return also in the trailer of the pawn system. Now this was the thing where you could customize an NPC and have them follow you around. In this one, it looks as if you can sort of pick them up and put them down like side quests.
Holy shit!
And they will, they will fight the monsters and beasts alongside you. They're kind of like your NPC monster hunter party.
I just get fucked up by those guys. God damn. Yeah, the pawn system again was not something that ever sold me on the series. I'd like to play Monster Hunter with my friends instead of playing Monster Hunter with cardboard cutouts of my friends.
Yeah, and I'll always remember Zero Punctuation talking about the pawn system, and it kills me every time. He's telling us about how essentially that with your pawn, what you do is you host the pawn online, and people can choose to take your pawn out, and on a quest that they've done, and they will be geared towards certain combat and certain they might have information on a quest they've already done. And the person that takes them out can rate them and send them back with a little gift for you as their handler, so to speak. And then you realize, and you realize, are you pimping?
Yes.
because your pawn comes back with little gifts to make you happy and stuff.
If your pawn gives you a kiss on the cheek and says "Thank you, Daddy," then maybe.
But yeah, it's a return of it. Basically, it was a thing in the first game. The pawns were hilarious because they would have like very standard NPC barks.
Oh God.
So like whenever, like, I'm talking every time you come across wolves, um, they would they would have a choice of saying either we're being attacked by wild beasts, or wolves hunt in packs, or fireworks well,
Awesome. Thanks,
and that
guys.
and that and that would be your three choices of bark that you get at the start of combat, and it would be every single time, and they would just say the same things over and over, and they would uh, they would occasionally point out a tower or something or a landmark that was nearby that you had chances are just been to.
The disconnect between the words you're saying and the emotions you feel towards this game is staggering.
Yeah, it is real. There's real dissonance at work here because I played the original cut of the game with all of its fucking inconveniences before it was smoothed out, and a whole load of polyfiller stuck in it. But I still kind of enjoyed it in retrospect because like the game is quite good at taking you on like journeys. Like one thing that the game does really really well is dungeon delving.
Hmm.
Dungeon delving is very, very good because you do get the sense that some of the dungeons, particularly the larger ones, they have this feeling where you are quite disconnected from the surface world, and it's not easy to get back to where you've come from. And there's a certain immersiveness in that. I'm getting it with Baldur's Gate as well. Like as I'm playing through it, like uh, wait, where is, apart from my camp, where is the nearest safe space? And it's probably quite far away.
I haven't started yet. I'm very locked into Sea of Stars.
Hmm.
It's um, it's a good RPG. It's just that the dialogue sucks and the combat is good in theory but not great in execution.
Right, okay, so that's an evolution of what you were saying to me before, because in the early game you seem to be quite enjoying the combat.
Yeah, no, it is good, but the more you get into it and the more like characters and stuff you unlock, the more you realize that pretty much everyone except your main two characters is hobbled against like 50% of the enemy types because they
Okay.
are inherently just kind of locked out of magic, which most enemies are vulnerable to. Because in this
Hmm.
world, like the magic users are the solstice warriors. They're like kids that are. It said they're kids that are born on either the winter or the summer solstice, but I just had a cutscene that tells me otherwise. I won't spoil anything, but it's really
Okay.
dumb.
Right, okay.
And there's just lots of stuff in it where I'm like, that's really dumb. I hate that. There's a few things that is really good. It's really funny, but
Hmm.
every bit of the dialogue. Like, let me give you a little bit of an example. Right, this is a mild spoiler for something that happens within the first 2-3 hours of the game, so it's not that big a deal. But you come across a crew of pirates,
Hmm.
and each of the pirates has their own unique little trait that
Yeah.
separates them. So you've got I can't remember Yolanda, and her thing is declaring that X is her middle name, then standing on one leg and putting her arms out.
Uh,
Like
uh,
everything you could think of, she's went, oh, or that's my middle name, or oh, that's not my middle name. And then she stands on the thing. There's a wee sound effect like boing. I was like, oh, shut up, Yolanda, fall over, tip over too hard. And then there's another dude on the thing, and his whole thing is that if he rips his shirt off, he gets really buff for a couple of seconds, and then his shirt magically goes back on. So he's just constantly ripping it off and flexing. And it's like, right, it was funny the first couple of times, but shut up. You're not actually contributing anything. And then the third guy, his name's Keenathan, and yeah, and I swear to fuck, he better not actually be called Keenathan, because his entire thing is that almost every conversation you have, he will at one point say, "Oh, absolutely, I would do that," or "My name's not Keenathan," And he said that so many times now, I'm like, motherfucker, your name better actually not be Keenathan and you're the bad guy. And you've just been really upfront about it the whole time and nobody believed you. That better be what's happening right now, because if it's not, you're just an arsehole.
Well, yes, we want the secret bastard, please.
Yeah, well, there's been a couple of secret bastards, as all good RPGs should have.
Yep.
But nah, not, that's the one where I'm almost positive he is just a guy, and it means that he's just annoying. But I really, just to salvage the character a wee bit, I'd like him to not be the good guy so that he isn't annoying, he's just trolling.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I'm going to get that lucky.
So yeah, Dragon's Dogma. That was obviously the first game in the announcement. I'm looking forward to it. I know you're very, very skeptical.
Yeah.
All right then. Next is actually not an announcement, but a delay. Pragmata has been delayed indefinitely.
Oh dear.
From 2023 to an unknown year. They even they did include an apology, but like these days, I'm much happier to wait for a game to arrive in the state that they want it to be in, rather than for something to be rushed out of the door and potentially be a disaster.
I don't know, man. I used to be that way, but I'm starting to lean into the chaotic neutral territory of just being like, do you know what? Release it and see what happens. The world needs Gollum. The world needs Golems. We need Golems every now and then just to remind us how bad it gets.
Yep.
And if if a couple of people have to lose their jobs and a couple of studios have to get shut down to remind everybody a valuable lesson about, caring about your work before presenting it, then it's just how it is. How it's got to be.
And next we had Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy. So that is for anyone keeping track at home. The Ace Attorney 4, 5, and 6 getting HD remasters.
4, 5, and 6 is it? Right, okay. I just not ever really been into the Phoenix Wright games. Never really tried them. I'm sure they're fun.
Yeah, I've never ever played one. I have no idea what they're like, and like looking over it, it seemed like there was some sort of like some easy detective work type stuff thrown in with basically dialogue combat.
Apollo 1 was a trip. What is it? What do you do in these games? It just looks like you said, it looks like one of those like find the hidden object games partnered with like a really bad courtroom drama where it's basically just like a dialogue tree.
It's a lawyer 'em up.
A lawyer 'em up. Okay, half point and click, half visual novel.
It's a third person litigation game.
I see that it appears to be exactly what I thought it was. I'm sure it is good. It's got such a huge dedicated fan base. It's just always been one of those things where it's like that's just a wee bit too out there for me.
It seems like a laugh. It seems like what would happen if you basically got JoJo characters into a courtroom.
There's certain genres of
Like
games
objection.
And stuff. Yeah, there's certain genres of games and stuff that I've just never felt the need to dabble on, even though I know that there is a huge market for it. Like, have you ever played a Leisure Suit Larry game? What the fuck are those? What do you do?
There's no idea.
There's like 9 of those, dude.
There are. There's loads of them.
What do you do? What understand. Are they? Why are they popular enough to? Who plays them? Have you ever met anybody that's played one?
No, I don't think that the people who play Leisure Suit Larry games announce that they play Leisure Suit Larry games, especially unless there's some proud boys out there or something.
Oh man, it's gonna happen one day. I'm gonna see a dude wearing a shirt, and I'll be like, that guy does not fuck.
I take it they must be on the banned Twitch list, right?
I think so, but I don't know what the game consists of. Am I gonna? Oh no, I'm gonna need to
I
create a
believe
new
it's
YouTube account.
I believe it's a sort of dialogue-driven pickup artist simulator.
Oh, it's Hustlers University, but like the digital version. Oh, right,
Yeah,
okay, I can totally see why people play that then. They've got,
yeah. It's like,
game teaches game.
yeah, it's like, yeah, Kino's got us covered. He says they're point and click adventure games with smutty humor. It's basically like playing your it's basically like playing your way through an issue of Viz.
I remember that.
So yeah, no, again, no idea. Never tried it. And yeah, I'm sure they have their fans too. But next up was a game that I know you've got some words to say about Exoprimal.
Oh, fuck all. All of them are disappointing words. Like, I get it, guys. You're putting in all the game modes that should have been in the game at the start, but the
Yeah.
damage has been done. Your marketing was really false for the game that you put out on that demo. The demo did damage. Nobody cares because it's just robot
Uh-huh.
Overwatch. Just just stop. Stop with your weird crossovers. I don't want Mecha Ryu. I don't want Mecha Gaio. I don't want Mecha Chun-Li. Her thighs are already powerful enough to crush my skull like a watermelon without them being made of metal as well. Don't pollute the fantasy. Alright? That's all I've got to say on it. Yeah, that's all I've got to say on it. Just stop.
I find it kind of odd that Capcom, like, seemingly against their better judgment, are trying so hard to force Exoprimal onto their customer base, and I do not get why. Like, basically they've put it out there, and people have picked it up and say, "There's a lot of this I don't want." And instead of going, yeah, okay, we'll take that L. We'll divert our resources elsewhere to things that we know that you will be passionate about. They've doubled down and they've said, no, you're going to like it. Really watch. We're going to do all this stuff. Street Fighter. You love Street Fighter. Street Fighter's in it. Monster Hunter. Yeah, we got Monster Hunter DLC coming later.
Yeah, like, remember that. That's dumb.
Yeah, it's trying to be, it's trying to like lean into other Capcom properties to try and buoy itself, and I just don't know why they're putting all the effort in when people are clearly, at best, like, they don't mind it.
I was just thinking there, what is the Capcom always do like the same crossovers between almost every game, right? So, what's Exoprimal Arthur going to look like? What's Exoprimal Mega Man going to look like? What's Exoprimal Leon Kennedy? Watashi o Leon Kennedy desu. What's he going to look like?
Yeah, what's are we going to get a suit called the Nemesis, which has like a weird tentacle weapon or some shit?
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. That you ruined it by making it. It looked like it was going to be Pacific Rim Left 4 Dead. Like, I just load up with my friends in this crazy mech suit, and me and them just work together to take out 1 billion dinosaurs that are coming in through a portal. And instead, you've got like basically like a shit mini game sim leading up to a 5v5, and they're like, oh no, guys, now if you come, it's not always a 5v5, sometimes it's a 10v AI, just like you wanted. That's good, right? It's like, no. I don't care about any of your robots either. They all have no personality.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the thing about like hero shooters like Overwatch and stuff is they live and die by the characters that they give you, and if you're not gonna give characters and you're just gonna give like, exosuits, you better make damn sure that they are as memorable as, say, like a Gundam.
You've just made me think of an interesting question. Are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the most represented characters in all of fighting games? Because they've been in Street Fighter, they've been in Mortal Kombat, they've been in not Multiverses, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. They've appeared as guest characters in numerous like Nickelodeon fighting games. Like they're just kind of everywhere, really.
I love those titles.
Do love the turtles, but they are just kind of everywhere in fighting games, and it is cool. But there's other people I want to see in a fighting game first. Like where the fuck's Tifa? Can I please have Tifa in Tekken, please?
But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where we're going to end up with Exoprimal. I just don't. I have no idea where it's going to go. Whether Capcom are going to continue to press the issue and try and get people to play and stick with and like this game. I wish them luck.
If it survives, I'm taking that as confirmation that it is the brainchild of a owner or CEO's son, and they're just doing everything to keep their son happy, and it's not something that they're actually super serious about. Because it's no way. This is dumb. Like it's not working. Nobody, the demo did. I've never seen a demo do so much damage to something.
Yeah.
That demo was poisonous to the game.
And speaking of demos, the next announcement was for just that. It was a demo for a game called Ghost Trick. And I don't know if you've seen this one, but this is basically the game where you're a ghost, because your character has been killed, and you are literally solving murder mysteries from your corpse, possessing different objects to try and lead the investigation in the correct direction.
Yeah, skip this one, boys.
It is weird, but it's from the creator and writer of the original Ace Attorney trilogy, so maybe he'll be able to pull it off.
Yeah, skip this one, boys.
Next up, we had let me see. This was the Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess.
Would you call me?
So it was the Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess. That was that like really visually stunning, like kind of Eastern mythological game.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to do another Okami. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that one, but I'm not having my hopes up.
And it's basically saying that there's going to be action and strategy at the heart of the gameplay loop. We don't really know, I think, too much about it, except that it's made in RE Engine.
And not Unity.
Yep, definitely not Unity.
God. Which has done what we all expected them to do. They got on their Michael Jackson costume and started moonwalking as far backwards as they could.
And one thing I will say is that it does look like a trip. Like, see the visuals of this game, they do look very very trippy. There's a lot of kind of like weird, kind of like loads of like spirit trails and like flowers blooming in weird ways, and like, oh wait, those aren't flowers, they're actually hands, and that kind of thing.
It's very similar to the concept trailer that was revealed for the new Silent Hill game, not the 2 remake. So every
Mm-hmm.
time I see it, and I just think for a second that Konami's just hijacked Capcom. It feels like for a while in history that's what they were trying to do and failed.
And the last thing I've got here is probably one of the more bizarre announcements, which was a new mobile and PC Mega Man game called Mega Man X Dive Offline. And as far as I know, it is an offline single player mobile or PC game.
Awesome.
Like I think the fact that they have to specify that it is offline is kind of telling for the sort of marketing that's going to be done for this game for mobile.
Yeah. Again, skip this one, boys.
Yeah,
This might as well be Mobile Rockman.
and I mean, like, there is of course the Gamoth in the room that we've got to talk about as well,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
and that is of course the only footage we had for Monster Hunter was basically the reveal of the poster for the 20th anniversary,
Never meet your heroes.
which is due to the anniversary is, correct me if I'm wrong, March 2024.
Yes, that is exactly when World 2 should be releasing.
And we got pretty much nothing else except like there was two poster arts that was thrown up, and also a little bit about Monster Hunter Now, which I just kind of regard as a Niantic game rather than a Monster Hunter game.
Oh, but it's World 2. It's the sequel to the best-selling Capcom game of all time, World 2, because it has most of the same monsters as a post that I saw unironically being made on the Monster Hunter Facebook pages. And it made my brain melt just a wee bit.
Yeah, I've kind of like said my piece on certain comment sections about it recently, but my intent is not to play it at all, and it's mainly because I don't want to be part of. I don't want to be part of essentially what is a step towards over monetizing Monster Hunter.
Now, I agree on that sentiment. However, I am playing it because it's actually very good for me when I'm walking to work. It motivates me to walk even, which is excellent. But I do have the craziest take you'll have probably heard about it from anyone ever, and I want to try and justify it, but I feel like you're going to tell me I'm talking shite, and that's fine. I probably am. But,
Right,
alright,
okay.
hear me out, right? I think that Monster Hunter Now may in fact be the most difficult Monster Hunter game ever made.
Really?
Hear me out, alright? It's
More
the only...
difficult than try?
And try, you could craft potions.
Fair.
In this one, you cannot craft potions, and there is no way to get more except for the 5 free ones that you get every day. And
Yep.
if you use those and you run out of health, you are stuck. You cannot do anything. The fact that you cannot do anything means that you cannot progress, and the fact that you cannot progress means that there are, brick. You just have to wait it out. There are brick walls. Other brick walls that are in the way is this is the only Monster Hunter game where you cannot actively repeat hunts because you kill something and then you just got to wait for another one to spawn. So if you're hunting for a part, but that monster doesn't spawn in an area that's close by you, like a swamp or a desert, then you're kind of snookered. You can't progress. So it's the hardest one to progress in naturally. It's the hardest one to heal in. It's the hardest one to actually play because the weapons all handle with taps and swipes, which are often misread as different inputs.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are counting it as a Monster Hunter game, I feel like it's the hardest one just by virtue of being the most inaccessible in terms of actually
Yeah.
playing the game.
Uh-huh.
And I hope that this TED Talk has shared some insight into my wild accusation that this, I'm not saying that it being hard's a good thing. I'm just saying that it's hard to play because they've made it really difficult to actually get into it and progress like a Monster Hunter game. Just in the most, like, see right now, the thing that is fucking me up the most is I need earth crystals.
Right. Well, what I'm going to offer in a response is that there has been an omission from your statement about the potions, hasn't there?
Has there? Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
you could
Well,
buy more if you want to. Like, oh, come on, that goes without saying. Mobile game. Play the game.
so but that's what I'm saying. That is what, like, look at Monster Hunter on the face of it, like the mechanics at work in the game, the like the needs to search out parts at all times, like that is ripe to be abused in monetization in video games. That is like they could milk that for just an inordinate amount of money if they wanted to. And now on mobile they're actually doing it. They're selling you potions.
Oh, not just potions, paintballs as well. See, here's part of the problem, right? The way that you play this is like a Niantic game. You
Hmm.
walk and walk and walk, and you go around and you get stuff. But unlike other Niantic games, like let's say Pokemon Go, walking around also serves a function as an actual game mechanic. In Pokemon Go, you are constantly trying to hatch eggs, and hatching eggs provide you new Pokemon, new opportunities, etc., etc., and
Loot
it means that
boxes.
yeah, it's a loot box that you get for walking around, right? But it makes the actual walking around part of it functional. You get
uh,
nothing in now for walking around. So, like, the only thing that actually reaps any benefit to you in the game is fighting the monsters. But certain monsters only spawn in certain areas, certain items only spawn in certain areas, and this game relies really, really, really heavily on elemental attacks. So you have to fight a bunch of fucking stuff to get the bits to craft the armor, and then like to give you like water attack 3 so that your shitty Jagras sword can level up. But then you get stuck on the level up because you don't live anywhere near a desert, which is the only place where crystals mining outcrops spawn. So then you got to go and get the fucking mining outcrops, and then you go, oh, it's a fucking. I mean, it's just such a hassle. I would rather go in the grinding lands and fight 100 monsters in one run, you know?
yeah. Yeah. I don't want to be a part of anything that moves Monster Hunter towards what I always fear it might one day become.
I think the team in charge have enough sense not to. I
Let's hope
hope,
so.
I
Because
don't
they've
know.
got the formula about perfect. Because
Let,
like
let,
think about it for World and Rise, what do we get in terms of additional content? We get an additional campaign, pretty much for the tune of like 2/3 of the game price,
yeah.
and we have cosmetic add-ons, which like change how your character looks, but doesn't really confer any in-game advantage at all, because the stuff that confers in-game advantage is already in it, and it's optional that you can just put on like the defender gear and coast through the main game until you get to the DLC.
Yeah. Well, there ain't none of that here. It ain't like a true Monster Hunter experience. But you know what? For what it is, for something that makes walking around a bit less boring, it's alright. Just don't spend money on it.
Yeah, definitely don't. But yeah, I was kind of deflated by the lack of Monster Hunter news. They must be building up to something huge.
I mean, 20th anniversary, World 2 expected. Has to be
Yeah.
something big. They can't let it down. What I would accept in place of World 2 is if for the 20th anniversary we got Monster Hunter 1 remake,
Right. Okay.
but like
Well,
a complete remake with the old systems in place so that these people that are like, oh my god, Monster Hunter, it's so difficult, blah blah blah, can experience a kazoo whelp in its prime. Breakable fucking pickaxes and shit.
yep.
Potion flex.
Mandatory fishing.
Potion flex. Oh god, yeah, that's right. Oh man, I forgot all about that.
How many golden fish do I need?
Oh
Fucking
no.
pricks. Okay. But yeah, I'm not like I don't necessarily like. I would love it to be World 2, but I think it's almost certainly got to be the next mainline entry, whatever form that takes.
Yeah. It's I think it's Monster Hunter 6 has to be if not a direct sequel to World, then the actual like spiritual successor. Rise wasn't like a spiritual successor, that was a separate title entirely.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
What I'd love to see, right, and this is maybe I'm gonna take a big huff of copium here, right?
Okay.
What I would what I would really love to see is in like because we have had um world which was the new world, come and see it, come and see the new world.
Yeah.
I kind of want the next one to be the old world.
Yeah,
We
that's
go
exactly what I
like
want.
it's not necessarily like a remake of any particular of the games thus far, but going back to those classic maps reimagined.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I would also really like to see some familiar places again. Like, how good would it be to if you're walking through one of the days, like one of the maps, it's this huge area, you don't really know what's going on, and then you stumble across Poke Village.
Hmm.
It would just be so good.
Yeah, and that's an alternate hub
Yeah,
because it wouldn't be hard for them to just like do a bunch of hub areas. They might not make them quite as big or quite as full as of NPCs as like Astera was.
well, we're just making 3D Gen Ultimate at this point, being able to bounce
Hmm.
between the different villages and shit.
Yeah.
I don't think it's time for that yet. I think we need a few more entries in the console, like home console Monster Hunter, before we go for the like greatest hits Smash Ultimate one.
Aye.
But I do feel like that
Generations
is,
2.
I feel like that's on the horizon, getting some kind of big PlayStation. Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind Monster Hunter as some kind of like MMO almost, where it's just constantly, big raid monsters and everything's in
I
it, and you
mean,
can go on with your
it,
friends and
it
shit.
essentially it essentially is raid boss simulator because like that's like the whole. Like, I mean, we got more of a taste of what MMO raid bosses are usually like when we had the Behemoth
Hmm.
guest quest.
Yeah, that was great.
It was great because it actually forced you to have some level of cohesion with your other hunters, which was largely unheard of in the game up to this point. People were just playing like how they were playing, and that was it. You didn't realize that you had to have someone on tank, you had to have someone who was playing support in some capacity.
So it's the overlapping at the urinal meme that I sent you. Like
Yeah.
that's how Monster Hunter's played. If you are standing pissing comfortably, someone with a longsword is going to come up and stand directly on top of you and piss all over you.
Yeah, but I mean, you speak definitely from experience as a hammer bro.
Like, go away from the face, go chop the tail, bruh. But the faces where the most damage is done. Yeah, whatever. We get an extra card from the tail. Fuck off. Go away.
The with yeah, there's definitely scope, like based on like what, like Monster Hunter, like the devs are aware of things like that within the fan base, and like they're aware of they're aware of like the nicknames that the people give the monsters as well. So they do have the opportunity to go back to like doing old world stuff in a new world style,
I would love that.
and it being its success.
I would love that. But again, the trailer, the footage for World 2 has to open with the Legaicrus. If it doesn't, I am concerned.
Yeah.
I want to get the same feeling from the World 2 trailer when it eventually comes out that I get from the Rebirth trailer of just like these guys totally get it. They understand what makes these games special.
Tell you what I'd love to see, actually. So I would love to see like some returning monster from Rise in the opening trailer. Some returning monster from Rise. In fact, let's make it Tetranodon, shall we?
Okay. Why
I'm going
would
to see
Tita?
it because he's great.
Okay,
He's
yeah.
he's a good one. I like him.
I
But
thought he was getting fucking marched to death in this scenario.
but also no, he is.
Oh.
Because he is amphibious and could therefore be ambushed by a Legiacris for the purpose of the
Ah.
trailer.
Okay. I get you. I get you. So it's going to be like the Snake Eater remake trailer where there's just something bigger, eating the bigger thing, eating the bigger thing.
Yeah, it's going to be like the old-fashioned monster ecology trailers where like it was literally it murderizing something else.
Oh man, those were so good. Love that shit. But yeah, so the last thing they revealed for now was the next monster that they're planning to add into the game. They didn't show us the monster, they just gave it a scream. I think it's a Zinogre scream.
I think you're right. I think that when I listened to it, that's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, I was watching it live with someone, and as soon as the scream came up, they were like, "What was it?" And my brain immediately went to Zinogre, so that's what I said. So I fucking hope it is, man. I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm talking about.
Do you know what'll slightly fuck you up?
Mm.
See, when we were playing Elden Ring,
Yes.
and we get to the Academy of Raya Lucaria,
Yeah.
and we're fighting the Red Wolf, and it howls like Zinogre. It is nearly the same sound.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's nearly the same sound file. The howl that Red Wolf makes when he sidesteps with the glint blades is nearly the same as Zinogre's "I'm gathering Fulgur bugs" thing.
Damn, I never
It's
noticed at the time.
it's the same awoo.
Um, dude, oh.
It is wild, and I'm going to point it out at the time as well when we do it, because Elden Ring is coming soon, maybe a different time.
Whenever the DLC's coming out, I feel like that's kind of the time.
Which I read the most pointless article earlier on, right?
Right.
It was some game magazine. I'm not gonna like name and shame them, but it's probably one of the ones you're thinking of. And basically it's we came up with some stupid clickbaity headline that like FromSoft staff discuss uh, upcoming Erdtree DLC release, and literally the comment from the developer was literally, "Oh yeah, it's coming out soon.
This
It's upcoming,
smells.
upcoming."
This smells like Polygon.
It's definitely it's definitely was clickbait as fuck, and literally all it said was the developer said it is an upcoming release, it will be released in the near future. And that could mean late this year, it could mean early next year, it could mean middle of next year. It tells us absolutely nothing.
If there is a 3 anywhere in the release date for the Elden Ring DLC, it'll be a month or a day. It ain't going to be the year. Unless the year
Yeah.
is 3000, in which case, yeah, maybe the pace they're working on it. Well, hey guys, if we do like 1 line of code a day, that's 365 lines of code by the end of the year. How many lines of code are in a game?
Here's a question for you. Do you think that we will get Armored Core DLC?
No, because I don't think anybody cares enough. I feel like Armored Core came out, and I think the general consensus, I could be wrong, but I think the general consensus surrounding Armored Core is that it's a alright game, it's a bad Armored Core game, but it's definitely been enough to get more people interested in the series.
Filter copter, filter copter, filter copter.
It's just, I don't know, man. I feel like the marketing for it was super misleading.
There were things that I now looking back at the trailer and thinking back to the trailer, there were things that I was totally thinking was not. I was thinking the game was going to be different to what we actually got, and
Yeah.
I really enjoyed what we got. I love the fact that the entire game is mission based and you never see a human face. Like there's
I don't
something
know.
there is something bizarre and like kind of compelling about that because you're in the driver's seat.
I feel like we've been robbed of the interesting storylines that could have came with some of the things that were shown as story beats in the marketing. Like, I was really looking forward to see what the fuck happened with like your Matrix fucking augmented human person getting pulled out their pod, but
Aye.
nah, none of that. I was really looking forward to this whole like intrigue of who was the original Raven. Nah, it's nobody. Don't worry about it. Great, okay. What are the
Is is
consequences of you stealing our title going to be? Absolutely fuck all. All right, okay.
is Walter a Goodman or a bastard?
It depends on your run.
Yeah, it does.
Oh no, she's gone. Yeah, I don't know. There
Who
was
will you
just
choose, Walter or Coral Chan?
depends on the run,
Yeah.
and that was another thing as well. It felt so like in Souls games you are going to get one of the 3 or 4 endings that are in the game just by playing it on accident, and what one you get. There's any odds, depending on how you've bumbled through the game, that you could get any of the
Hmm.
3 endings. And this
Yeah.
one, it was like run 1, ending 1. Okay, check. Run 2, new options unlocked. Ending 2 unlocked. Go and get that, right? Check. It didn't feel like there was much freedom of.
and and New Game Plus Plus, which I've just started, so I can't really say anything about the content of that. But new, as it starts, it literally says, "There's another way."
Yeah. So, it's just like,
Another way
alright.
different to the other ones.
Cool. Hopefully you're not like me, and if you are going for the platinum, I made a mistake. One of the trophies is for doing every mission in the game,
Yeah.
and one of them's for doing every mission with an S rank. And
Hmm.
I just happened to accidentally make the same choice twice on 2
Ah, right,
runs.
okay.
So in the path that I was told to take on the 3rd run to get the full ending that I was going for, required me to take that same choice for a third time. So I had to play through it, and the choice was in chapter 4, like halfway through. So I had to play the game on a new game plus
It's one of
plus
the big
plus
choices.
run
All right, okay.
just to unlock this one mission to try and S rank it. It was brutal.
I've been really enjoying the kind of divergent paths. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes in NG++.
It kind of feels like a modern PS2 game.
It does, and I know exactly what you mean by that. Like
Yeah.
it has replay value.
It's gamey as fuck.
It is so gamey.
Yeah,
It is literally you can't beat the boss. Okay, there's some things in the shop that might help you go nuts.
it's just a gamey ass game. You can pick that thing up, you can play it for half an hour, or you can play it for 6 hours,
Uh,
and it's just you're gonna be doing more or less the same thing over and over again. But that same thing you're doing over and over again, it's interesting enough to keep you going and keep doing it, and not
and
you know.
and like depending on how you grasp the game and how you approach it, you will there is a chance that you will spend as much time tinkering about with your machine and making sure that it's at the right weight and energy usage, and you've got your optimum layout of parts. If you get into the nerdy bullshit Excel spreadsheet shite, like I did, then it becomes like a whole element of the game. Like
Yeah,
it's a whole like it is a challenge in of itself.
I think I spent the most time in the game fucking around with decals.
I made literally two and stopped and then just go, right, okay, how can I make this thing go faster and
Ooh,
blast harder?
look at this view.
That is nice.
Is she gonna make me push her off this cliff? She'd be like, Lord Sakai, I dream of becoming a Mishima. Please, throw me off the cliff so that I might climb back up like Jin Kazama.
So Yuriko, unfortunately, as you've probably been picking up from the dialogue, is kind of losing her wits a little bit, and she thinks that Jin is Jin's dad.
Mm,
She thinks he's the old Lord Sakai.
yeah, I get that she's lost her tisms a wee bit, but it's just the way the game's presenting this. It's like, oh, okay, that's a big ass cliff. Somebody's got to fall off that. Somebody
And
going to come and attack, or who's
so
going off that cliff?
we're getting some backstory.
He lied.
He did, but for a kind reason.
He said no, but it sounded like, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just the just the Japanese for no. Unfortunately, sounds like the opposite.
Yeah. Oh, she was buffering for a second. Okay, what do we got? What do we see? Does this lady have any happy memories? Let's find them. Or she's greedy.
And there on the horizon, an enormous plume of black smoke.
Tell me what else you see. Oh, is she dead?
Yeah, she's gone.
Oh, Jin. You told her so much. You frazzled her mind. She's like, oh my god, a pagoda. I close my eyes only for a moment and you goes gone.
And the horse is here to cheer us up.
Very somber. Right, so now that everybody's good and sad from the game and the Capcom announcements, who do we have next?
So where do we want to go next in terms of dev announcements?
Who's even there? Like, I honestly have whiffed on TGS this year so hard. I feel like after seeing the Capcom shitcase, I came away from the whole thing thinking, wow, man, Keely's got this information game on lock. There is nothing getting through. His bin is sitting inside a fortress, sitting inside a vault, sitting inside a fire pit of fire that never goes out. Like, nobody is going to get anything off of him. He's got it all.
So what I've got for us is I've got basically a highlights reel of things that were announced.
Fabulous.
So that will probably carry us through, and we'll
reflect on Rebirth. Okay.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, let's reflect on Rebirth.
Sparring
synergy attacks.
Sparring in the wind. And the high wind. Okay, very good.
Nah, not to the third game, man. Not to the third game.
See what's looking back over his shoulder while standing in flames, perhaps?
Here can you hold my friend just for a moment?
A journey awaits. Yeah, it does. That's the one.
The unknown journey will continue.
Yeah. Woo! Gilded armor splashed with red 13. A welcome escape from all. It's not really doing it for me. What else we got? What's hiding in the trees up here? Sit beneath the golden shroud.
The golden saucer.
Where we're going in the game, it feels like it's got to be that one. Oh God.
Okay. All right. And now finally we have.
We have muddy water. Did Sephiroth do this?
Wash the fear away.
Cleanse
yourself from pain. Replace what was lost.
Ooh, because maybe we're going to replace Zack.
Final Fantasy VII replacement.
Alright, we're taking that one.
This will probably be quite beautiful, said aloud. Yeah, spend all those G points.
Oh, I can't wait. They have to have that one guy. He's gonna be like, hey kid.
You want to exchange Gil for GP?
You want to buy some GP? I got the good stuff. It's right here. I got these preloaded game cards. Give you 20 minutes on G-Bike. I give you it for 10 Gil.
What about this one here? It makes the Rock'em Sock'em guy go a little slower.
Hey kid, you want to know a cheat code for Mog's house? I tell you, you ain't never seen that little guy gobble nuts the way you will if you do. What? Why do you have these codes? Now, that's something else that I wanted to bring up about Rebirth just while we're talking about it.
Of course.
Oh no, wait! It was shown. The more was shown at Tokyo Game Show, we'll get to it. We'll give it its own time.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, let's give everything else its time in the sun.
Okay, so what do we have here? So, right, okay. So, we have the first game here. I don't know anything about. It's Koei Tecmo and it's Atelier Resleriana. I think this is like kind of similar to the Tales of series in that it's very anime, and it could. I think this one is a bit more like Harvest Moon or like a farming type game. I could be wrong. I know little to nothing about it.
If I heard that title out of context, I would assume you were taking me to a very, very cocaine-filled restaurant.
And it's saying that it's an Android and iOS game. There's rumors that we'll get a Nintendo Switch 2 port, whatever the Nintendo Switch 2 port is going whatever that console's going to be. It does look kind of quite yeah, it does look like it's just mobile trash, really, isn't it?
Say it with me, everybody. Skip this one, boys.
Next was Fate Samurai Remnant. Now, Fate is a kind of pretty popular anime series, if I remember right. It has a lot of different kind of like different series in the Fate universe.
Okay.
So that's probably going to have its thing. It's an action RPG, combat reminiscent of a Warriors game. Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah, no, not interested.
So next we've got next we have a Sega and Atlas, which is potentially slightly more exciting. We have
which Persona's getting remade on what now?
Well, it's since you asked, we're getting Persona 5 Tactica.
Actually, kinda cool.
Yeah, so
yeah.
P5 Tactics.
Look, man, if we're not getting a new Final Fantasy Tactics, then I will take what I can get.
I'm going to actually, I'm actually going to load up the Sega, the Sega Atlas announcements in full because it's I think there was a couple of things here that there's a couple of things here that potentially are deserving of mention.
I mean, it's Sega, so like I said, Persona relaunched on something, and everything is becoming the anime Skyrim, and then we'll also have, I don't know, Sonic shite, that new Sonic game that they're talking about. They'll probably show some stuff off about that. And what else does Sega do?
That's the thing, isn't it?
Like I know for a while they were responsible for all the dog shit Alien games, but you know, we squeezed a few good ones out, so I don't think that's actually part of their game plan anymore.
So we have. Let me just see here. So we've got Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name.
Ah, that's what they do. Like a Dragon. Okay.
Yep. I think there was a little bit on Infinite Wealth as well. There was Sonic Superstars. There was one called Endless Dungeon, which looks like a sort of roguelike type thing. There was Persona 5 Tactica, and there was Persona 3 Reload. That's the one they're remaking.
There it is.
Yeah.
Knew it was in there somewhere.
But yeah, it's there was the Persona one at least was kind of well received. I would think.
Oh, I'll take a new tactics game any day.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but everything else, it's like, okay, like a Dragon, I'm sure that those are going to be amazing games, and I'm very excited for Young Ye to be the leading man in Man Who Sold His Name. Good for him.
Is he is he in is it that one he's in, or is he in the Infinite Wealth one? I can't remember.
I'm positive he is in Man Who Sold His Name, but
Cool.
I could be wrong. I don't I don't know, man. I don't know anything about Yakuza except that this is probably the most progressive game series ever, and it's been that way always, but nobody's ever really said anything about it until recently.
Yeah.
But apparently,
Uh,
apparently this game's morality meter is just bang on where it should be.
and the other one that was mentioned here, and this game actually looks pretty cool. And I mentioned it. I mentioned it last week when we were talking about the state of play, because it was briefly on that. It was the winner of the best the best video game title for a little while, Unicorn Overlord.
Oh yeah, that sounds sick.
Which looks to be a sort of like tactics Fire Emblem type hand-drawn anime affair, which the art style looks really cool. It's kind of like I want to say like Octopathy.
Okay.
Honestly, it does look pretty decent. I'm interested.
With a name like that, you've got my attention. Now you just have to show me some sick gameplay to really get my focus. But yeah, no, it looks like from everything I've seen so far, it looks like they're going the right way about everything.
Yeah.
And I do definitely look forward to seeing what comes of it. If nothing else, it will just be fun to say the name and see it out there.
Do you know that there is a band which has a song entitled "The Unicorn Invasion of Dundee"?
I believe I know the band you're talking about.
Yes, Glory Hammer.
That's them.
Yeah, they're good fun.
They are super interesting, but it pissed me off to learn that none of them are Scottish.
I know it sucks. It sucks when you find things like that out. Like for instance, like Dropkick Murphy are all Dropkick Murphys are all from like fucking Boston.
Aye.
And fair enough, that area does have a good degree of Irish heritage, but it is just that heritage. They are not Irish.
Yeah, it's honestly like, oh, guy, come on, this is what people talk about when they're talking about cultural appropriation. Come on. Should bagpipes not be biometrically locked?
Well, as far as I know, I don't think bagpipes are a Scottish invention. I think they were popularised perhaps by Scotland, but as far as I know, bagpipes were like I think they get their origins in India.
Mate, that would be the first cool thing we didn't invent.
Yeah, the amount of things that Scottish people have invented is pretty staggering. In fact, I think there's a quote, I can't remember who says it, but it was like Scots are second only to the ancient Greeks in how much they've contributed to mankind.
Aye, and the difference is we do it because we're bored and drunk.
We solve problems.
Penicillin created by some guy fucking off on holiday and leaving a sandwich to get bogging. That sounds about right. People have spent their entire careers trying to do something as profound as creating something anywhere near as useful and relevant as that, and this guy's just went like, "Shut up, Janet, I'm coming! Alright, oh for fuck's sake, right, I'm coming! Oh, I know the taxi's there, Janet! Right, I'm coming! Jesus Christ!" And he's only got one shoe on, he's hopping at the door, and then this sandwich is just sitting there fermenting like, "I'm gonna change the world."
Yeah, boy.
Just you wait.
that I think one race of people that one country at least that definitely owes Scotland a fair bit is America, because after all, we did create their god, television.
Yes, unfortunately.
Television, teacher, mother, secret lover. Simpsons deep cut for you.
There you go. Oh, these Straw Hat guys are tricksy. I need to concentrate for these ones. They're not like those jobbers with the swords. Where are the rest of them? Got it. So, who was next up on the list for the Tokyo Game Show?
So I need to go back to my my kind of greatest hits list. All the highlights, right? Okay, so we had gotten to Sega and Atlas. After them, 505 Games. They had some Marvel Puzzle Quests to get some updates. Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes. This is the spiritual successor to Suikoden.
Oh.
And I'm quite hyped for it because Suikoden was a game that I never ever got to play, and I heard really great things about it.
I fear another Armored Core scenario where I've heard many, many great things, but the modern take is just different enough to not be that or what I'm expecting.
And I suppose we did kind of touch on this earlier, but like, see when the marketing for Armored Core was coming out, and you know, like seeing that picture of the mech with like all the junk on its back.
Yeah.
Like, I was expecting there to be some kind of like free salvage mode or something where you could go out and have a chance of finding some mad parts.
Yeah, pick up some debris, take it back, scrap it.
Like revisit like a bunch of the levels, but like in a sort of like, I don't know, like Monster Hunter Expedition mode.
Yeah.
I was expecting something like that, but it is absolutely just all mission based all the time.
I feel like the game definitely picked up the less space you had to explore, which is not something I was ever wanting to say for a From game. But the tighter environments that you were in definitely felt better to the style of game we were playing than like when we were outside constantly wanting to explore these really beautiful environments and then finding the orange walls. The orange walls killed it for me in terms of like enjoying the environments that they'd created, because I just wanted to explore them, and there were even bits that were accessible earlier on that quest that would get locked off, and I was like, oh, but like I only came over here because I was being chased, and now I want to go back and look at stuff. What the fuck? Why can't I do that?
Yeah, and I mean, like, fair enough, like, the log hunt and stuff, like, it gives you the incentive to go back to certain missions to try and 100% it, but also at the same time, it's so underwhelming as a thing to do. Like, I've got to go and scan a bunch of ID tags.
Yeah.
And for every pip I get on the fucking battle pass, I maybe unlock another piece of mech. Like, can I not, like, you were doing chests earlier? Can we not just have more of those? That would be a lot easier.
Man, they were so few and far between that by the time I found one, I thought they weren't real.
And yeah, I just like, it has the replay value in the sense that you go through the story multiple times, but it could have done with something like that, where like some kind of, And I think if they do go for a DLC, this is what they've got to add for it. There's got to be some kind of end game content.
Yeah, it gets to a point where the money. See the fact that you can just refund bits for the price that you paid for them?
Uh-huh.
It means that you essentially have the money to do whatever you want super early on in the game, and the only reason you want more is just for ease of access of those parts.
Yeah.
And after you've got everything unlocked, the money just builds up. Like by the time I was finished the game, I think I had like 20 million spare credits and nothing I could do with them. Why can't I have like why not unlock something at the end of the game? Like you've already beaten the game, so why not unlock something where I can pay additional credits to take specific weapons and like manually improve their statistics to make them just like ultra god tier. Like, why couldn't I just
Yeah, move.
shave everything off my sword so it was ultra lightweight but razor fucking sharp?
Yeah, like let us maybe adjust the sliders somewhat, so like we can boost like one stat, but maybe it takes longer to reload as a result of that,
Yeah,
or like yeah, like so like take like a beam rifle or something. Maybe maybe if you boost this one thing, the rate of fire increases, but the shots get weaker, or you have a larger ammo clip, but it takes longer to reload.
yeah, or some kind of interesting. What? Hang on, I need to go to the toilet real bad. I'll be right back. But don't let me forget this thought. Be right back.
Yeah. For anyone listening, I mean, this if you've not played Armored Core, I do apologise. We're kind of nerding out on it a little bit, but we have been playing a lot of it. Dargo's just platinumed it, and I'm on New Game Plus Plus, as I mentioned earlier on, which is supposedly the final playthrough in terms of unlockable story content and parts and stuff. And yeah, I'm unabashedly really enjoying the game. I mean, like the it's definitely very difficult and it's definitely not for everybody. But if it clicks for you, it is just a magic little game. It's definitely my highlights for this year, and that's said as someone who has unfortunately not gotten that far into Baldur's Gate 3 yet. I reckon I'll be changing my tune and essentially like putting it lower in my estimations when I've done that, but we'll see.
Yeah. One of the things I was going to say, I would have also liked to have seen something like a couple of levels or game mode or whatever where you are basically sent in with the most basic of the basic, and you have to find more weapons and stuff as you go through. Like the ability to pop whatever's on my shoulder off and then pick up something from a debris robot that I've found elsewhere in the game.
That would have been sick, actually. I would have been right into that. Like, imagine like you find a chest and it does contain like a cool weapon. Wouldn't it be awesome if you could just snap that right on there?
Yeah, and even if like, what if it was a case where if you do pop something off, you don't have that anymore. That is no longer, you don't take that back with you, so then you have to buy it again if you want another one, and that gives the money like continuous use.
Yeah, you get 4 slots and that's it.
Yeah, that can, I don't know. And I think there's other things that could have been done that would have been really cool. Like, I would have loved to have seen more interest in weapons. Like, what if I had something that started as a missile launcher? It was just this huge, big fucking thing. It started as a missile launcher, but then when you shot the final missile, the gun, like the casing, split in half and fell off, and then there was a shotgun inside.
Yeah, I would have. What I would have liked to see, and this is probably just me being a Gundam fanboy, is I would have loved to have been able to sacrifice the like maybe like one or both of the back weapons for a wing pack.
Yeah,
Like having that like maybe be swappable off for like maybe a few extra engines or something to improve your boost performance and maybe allow you to like legitimately fly around.
Yeah, that could
Where
be cool.
with a tetrapod you can hover in place and stuff, which is really cool. But like, it would have been cool to have an actual flying suit because one of the coolest fights in the game is against Cell 240 Ibis and or Robo Millennia, as I've been calling her.
God, you're such an Ibis stan.
I love it. It's one of the best boss fights in the game for sure.
The
I
game
lost my
is
mind when it get back up.
the game is 100% at its best when you're in an intense 1v1.
Oh
That's
yeah,
that's when the
and
game's in its absolute peak.
I think it would be great if there would be more. Like, I really want them to maybe balance the PvP like they're doing with Elden Ring, because at the moment there is a very much a meta when it comes to Armored Core PvP. It is dual Zimmerman shotguns and dual songbirds at the back.
I
And
only ever had one Zimmerman, and it was not because the internet recommended it, but yeah, they are absolutely busted strong. If you get up close with one of them and manage to get a good shot in, you can pretty much wipe their stagger gauge with one round.
yeah, if you're close enough to catch them and with it will all but delete the stagger bar.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and like it is like pairing them up is just so effective, and it doesn't really have that much of an energy or weight demand, and yeah, it's just a bit busted.
Oh.
If you give me 2 seconds, I'll be right back.
Okay. Increase the standoff streak by 1. Winning a standoff as a tip. Oh, okay, that gives me like more standoffs. That's sick. Strike an enemy with a ghost weapon causes the enemy to do 24 okay, debuff armor. Let's increase this and make it look better. Can we do the next upgrade? Oh, we can. Oh, sick, it gets antlers. Oh, I can just go all the way. That's even better. What's the difference? Fuck all. Excellent. Massive increase to health, major increase to melee damage, and standoff streak increased by 2. That's god tier. I love it. Oh man, that was great. Alright, what else we got here? Gift Altar's got 1, Trapper's got 4. Trapper. Cool. It's time to advance the story into Act 3, possibly. That would be as well taking a ranged upgrade. Let's take more darts. They seem good. Alright.
Hey,
Hello. We are about to advance on to the next major plot point.
interesting.
Let's do it. Aren't you looking at me? What's this? Okay. Okay. Oh shit, is this us going for the 1v1 with old best friend?
Yeah, the rematch of the century.
Alright, I'm down. Let's do it. I loved you like a brother, Anakin!
And what do we think of the Sakai clan armor
I
with
think the
the
fact
extra square ghost streak?
Yeah, amazing. I think the fact that I was able to take it from base armor all the way up to the max level helps. I enjoyed getting these dope antlers. All right,
Indeed.
where's Yuna? There she is. Come on, Yuna, we've got to send some people.
When will Yuna stop dancing?
People die in Yuna dances.
That video of the Yuna cosplayer on the DDR machine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man, if she dies on this, that's going to be absolutely dog shit for her. Oh, Jin.
Yeah, because she's saying she wants to leave the island.
Yeah, she's out. And she's earned it. She's been a badass, she's provided an army. Jin, just go and meditate for a wee bit. Go in the hot springs so your balls feel bigger.
Go get your arse out.
Like, go get your arse out, get your balls warm, put one of the swords in your mouth if you need to, I don't care.
Jin's edgy, but he's not that edgy. are, are you are you edgy, or are you three swords, one in the mouth edgy?
So when he puts two in the mouth, that's it, game over. Alright, where are we headed then?
Okay, so we got to go to Fort Koyasan, which is the place where Ryuzo is waiting for us.
Is that this one? No, that's Castle Shimura. Where's Fort Koyazan?
So all you need to do at the moment, I think, is just leave the camp, because I think there's like a kind of set piece thing that we're going through.
Woohoo! What was that? Oh, it was just flowers. Right, where is it? It's up here.
And luckily, we found a sword here earlier.
Yeah, I hope by fast traveling I don't mess up the set piece. Now we're fine. Whoa! Jesus, Jin. He's a madman. There's no stopping him, goddammit.
Look at that chapter name as well. A Reckoning in Blood.
Yeah, we're getting real edgy now, boys. Alright, let's try and cap off TGS before I get locked into it. You're going to have to get me on a pretty...
What else we got?
You're going to have to get me in a flow state rant.
And let me see. Honestly, there doesn't look like there's much else. The only other thing that it's got here was there was something called Reverse 1999. And it looks like I think it just looks like another mobile game, really.
So what you're saying is it's rebirth time?
Yeah, I think it is.
Alright, so there is something that happened in that trailer that made me so happy. You have no idea. This is already my game of the year based on one thing and one thing alone.
Okay.
Nanaki rides the chocobos.
He does, like a people.
It's honestly the best thing I've ever seen. That's it. It's game. Like,
and I've seen somewhere. I don't know what, like, if it belongs to any particular footage or what, but I've seen a still image of Nanaki on Chocobo back holding the reins and looking towards the protagonist in the foreground and saying, "What?"
I want it to be like a serious, like, when I don't know if you ever watched The Walking Dead, But there was this episode where Rick goes into this settlement that haven't been affected at all by like the zombie outbreak, and one of the guys starts acting up, and he ends up like slitting the guy's throat, so he gets fucking covered head to toe in blood.
Mhm.
And then he just stands up and looks at all these town folk with the blood of their friend all over his face and body and shit like that, and he's just like, "What?" And then fucks off. Like, I want that.
You want that
I,
kind of what?
yeah, that level of what, that degree of what. I don't want Nanaki to like eat a fucking chocobo and then just be like, "What, my dog?" But I want him to just get on it, hold the reins, and then just be like, "It's normal. Yous are being weird."
That was what I'd gotten from it. Like he'd just like gotten up onto the chocobo like it was second nature and took it, and everyone was staring at him, and he's just like, "What?
It's totally normal.
That's what you do."
He's just a dog riding a bull. Which, honestly, the fact that he's not just like torgling it next to you on the chocobo is even. Again, I'm looking back at 16. I'm going, the dog and that didn't ride a fucking chocobo. that's minus a point.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Everything I see about Rebirth just makes me think, ah, man, that game could have been so much better.
And I like that. Like, I mean, I think we've said this before, but like, I like that Rebirth seems to be tying into like keeping a hold of some of the wackiness of FF7.
Oh yeah.
Like, obviously, like you didn't see any character like really riding a chocobo other than Cloud or Tifa if you're lucky. And like you know, in the overworld map, it was just one Cloud, one chocobo. But
Whoa, I've not seen that video, man. That sounds wild. What site was that on?
but
Chocobojobs.com.
But it does make you it would make you wonder when you think about it, like what does Red do? Does he just run alongside? Oh, that must be tiring for him because chocobos run really fast. And then like to see him like actually riding one, like okay, of course you've made that decision. That is in keeping with the aesthetic of Final Fantasy VII, and I approve this.
It's at the point now where the game devs get it so much that if we get the option to choose where Kate Sith sits, whether it's on Nanaki or on the Chocobo or on someone's shoulder, that little shit like that might even be in the game. Who knows? Like anything's possible at this point. They've put Cloud
That'd
on
be
a
excellent.
Segway in beach shorts, Cloud Strife on a Segway in beach shorts, and it doesn't even look that dumb. What is that? What are they doing?
I cannot wait for the sailor outfits.
I know. Oh, the fact that they've put Nanaki in a chocobo means they are absolutely putting him in that sailor outfit. He is going to be walking in his hind legs, and nobody is going to say shit about it.
Not a thing. Not a thing.
I want them to be hyper suspicious of every single party member, but then look at Nanaki and think that he's just somebody that they know. Like he is so. He looks exactly
Oh,
like so.
hey Carson.
Yeah, it's something like that. Like I never. They're looking at Barrett and they're like, something suspicious about you, fella. I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it. And then it just gets to Nanaki and it's like, oh hey, Dave.
I thought you were on shore leave.
Yeah, oh, that is wild. See, how you doing? Catch up with you later, buddy. Slaps him on the back and he's just like, oh. Uh-oh.
We've been captured.
Things are bad. Alright. Just like the Metal Gear Solid torture scene. Don't worry, I've taken 50,000 volts to the nipples before.
Oh, look, there he is.
Oh, shit. What is it? Yum, peace.
That's what it is.
Ah, horse cum. Nice.
Horse milk. Like traditionally in you know, in that part of the world, they drink a lot of horse milk and yak's milk and things. Do you know that yak's milk's pink?
I did not. That's
Well, now you do.
that doesn't seem healthy. Oh. Man, they were just about to get out. Taka getting taken out. Where's Yuna in all this?
And he's just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, Taka's getting run through. Say that's a pretty sweet deal. What do we reckon? Turn around and try and chop him, go for the hands, actually stab him. Yep, yep.
Hey.
Yeah. Should have gone for option 2. Well, we don't like the way that leg's hanging out there. Oh! Ooh.
Yep, goodbye, Taka.
Maybe if we stick it back on with some of the reeds from the river, it'll get better.
So yeah, he's just gonna bring a bunch of your friends round and just kill them one by one.
So this is the
He's not a nice man.
This is the Act 2 low point.
It is.
Definitely heading into Act 3.
Yep, this is our Empire moment.
It really is, yeah. Alright, who's next?
Okay.
Alright, it's
Are we going to break free this time?
There we go. Oh. Sorry, buddy.
Wood.
Here, let me protect you from the rain. Here's getting wet.
Ruh-roh.
Alright, what's over here? What we got? Some supplies, some arrows, don't need them.
Some stuff and things.
They always keep the stuff, like, super near their prisoner. You know, it's like a Metal Gear Solid thing. They always said, at least in Metal Gear Solid, I had to use the ketchup to pretend that I'd been stabbed.
He got all that armor on in record time.
Really did. He does it like an Iron Man suit. The armor's actually got, like, hinges on either side, so he can open it long
Nano
ways.
machine, son.
That's it. Who's coming after me? Is this guy just borked? What's happening?
I hope not, that would suck.
Great. I just had to press the button. That guy was just going to stand there indefinitely. That was the shittest game of chicken ever. I couldn't win that. Oh shit. I'm finding it difficult to see.
Mind you got the moves.
I do, but I need it for healing. There we go.
Not if they're all dead.
What was that? I didn't do that. What caused that?
I'm not sure. You didn't like accidentally throw a sticky bomb or something, did you?
No, there was a red barrel and it just detonated. It looked as if
Right.
somebody like shot something towards it, and that detonated it. But there was nobody like that I could see anywhere. So I don't know. Maybe it's like the ghost of Taka.
Fair enough. Still on your side. Minus a heed.
Yeah, I mean, at least now Yuna will stay. I assume that's the story reason.
Yeah, we have our plot device ready.
Oh, Yuna, you were just about to get out and live a nice life with your family.
One, you just pull a sword on her. 3 weeks before retirement, eh?
Oh, damn. I was only 3 weeks from retirement. I was about to hang up my sword and badge.
Too old for this shit.
Oh dear.
Don't worry, I'll stop her.
I'll just wing her.
Oh. This is what happens when you try to have a happy ending before the story is finished.
Yes. A lot of sad times this week.
Yeah, we have been on our Empire arc, but that's okay. That means we've got Happy Act 3 next time. With a whole new section of island to explore, and that will be us on our way towards exploring the DLC. And when I'm finished Sea of Stars, that means that I'll have time to make this my main, soak up everything, and hopefully we can get a plat.
Nice.
And beyond, if we do the DLC stuff. Obviously that doesn't count towards the plat, that is just little extras for Eagle.
Yeah, I think it has its own trophies though.
It does, but they don't contribute towards a platinum. They're just DLC
they
trophies.
do not.
Something that I was actually a wee bit not upset with, but like disappointed by with Rise. Is that Sunbreak didn't get its own separate list with a platinum because Iceborne did.
Yeah, it just got like 5 individual mini sets, which didn't really contribute to anything.
Yeah, and they were all super annoying.
Yeah, they were all like duplicates of the one before, but it was like with the new monster parameters, so to speak. Like, it was just
much.
they didn't really add anything to going after the platinum. I don't think.
No, and they left it for the last one to be like, all right, now just get every monster in the game's crowns. Oh, great. Okay.
Now that you've done it, as well. How is the Armored Core plat? I will not be getting it, just so you know.
It was fine, honestly. Like, see, once you get into a rhythm for getting the S ranks and the missions.
I imagine that's the biggest undertaking, is like S rank in every mission.
Kind of, but it's not actually that hard. Like, the way that the game evaluates your performance and gives your ranks based on just a few things. Like, it's mostly to do with time. But any map where I found that no matter how quickly I was beating it, I wasn't, finishing the level, it was generally because there was like some optional dude on the map that rewarded so many points that you just had to do it to get the S rank. So once you learn that, it's totally fine. The speed's totally fine. The healing thing, you just try not heal as often. Like if you heal twice, then probably try and reset, unless it's one of these huge boss encounters, because it's pretty forgiving that way. But realistically, like I didn't even, because my setup for the entire game, or for most of the game, was Zimmerman shotgun, one of the swords, at least one melee weapon. For a while, it was the the sword that you start with, and then I tried the pile bunker and the chain whip, and then got the moonlight, and then got the thing that's like the moonlight but better.
Yeah.
So it's just Zimmerman, the moonlight but better, and then 2 ear shots because I wanted something really fast and damaging for when they were staggered, or to get them to stagger. Because I realised early on that a huge thing about this game was that if you just wait out your opponent until they land and then shoot something with an AoE down from above them, the AoE will tag them even if they dodge.
Yeah. There's definitely wisdom in that.
So, there's so many different things that I just kind of naturally picked up and then added into the build and then accidentally made something meta. But honestly, man, as soon as you get boost kick, just charge directly at your opponent, boost kick, shotgun, slash, boom. That's it. Game. Every time.
I ended up going down for the most part being like quick boost daft. Like a lot of my machines led like very high mobility.
Here's another complaint about the game. It teaches you the least efficient way to get out a quick boost.
Yeah.
It teaches you to pull back, which can just change your direction or not actually do the desired effect. But if you just tap X, it just stops instantly and you start dropping.
Yeah, tapping X is the way to go for that. And a lot of the machines I had, like my kind of flagship machine was the one that I kind of sent you an early version of, the grey and red reverse leg thing.
What did you name it?
Vethus, after a character that I've written from a D&D setting.
Mine was, for the majority of the game, Gypsy Danger. Until I got brick walled, and then it went through a massive redesign which made it infinitely better, and it came back as Gypsy Avenger.
Nice.
Because, Pacific Rim, you just have to.
Yeah. By the end, but like by the point that I am just now, like ready to start NG++, I've now got about like 7 or 8 suits.
That's too many.
Yeah, I've got loads.
I am the Raging Storm.
Yeah.
That's getting to
bit
be a
more health,
meaty
bit more
health
resolve.
Bar. Alright, so that's pretty good timing and a pretty good place to stop, I think. Let me just make sure that the map is open to me so that I can do some off-streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, seems fine. Alright, cool. So next week we do the Fate of Tsushima, and then we'll unlock the Northern Territories past Castle Shimura.
Yeah, get into the frozen north.
15 out of 17 liberated in Toyotama, so I'll work on that. And then we'll have to check this area out as well. But
nice.
Yeah, we're making some pretty good progress here. Thursday we'll be playing some FF7. We're honestly like kind of in-game territory.
Exciting. And that means that once we get to end-game territory, we're going to have to arrange a little hangout to watch Advent Children.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Well, my cabinet, my display cabinet full of Final Fantasy shit is back up and operational in the living room. So there's 4 different versions of Advent Children right there ready for you to do. You want to watch it on UMD together and huddle up?
Huddle around a PSP.
Yeah.
No, complete version, I think.
Oh, fine. You're no fun.
The full expanded experience.
We could have sat outside by the fire, but fine. We'll be inside like humans. Fine. You're no fun. Before we go, let's take a look at some of the stuff that I've unlocked from just going around. That one's okay. I don't like that one. That one's pretty nice. Ooh, the Storm of Clan Sakai.
Mm-hmm.
Hiro Tsushima. Again with all the fabric.
I like this one.
This is kind of like the going through the lightsabers in, Jedi, either one of them. And it's just like, yeah, okay, yeah, oh, okay, I like that one. I'm going to take that one because it's red.
I liked the ones with the slightly different hand guards. So like the ones that were like a bit jaggy, or the square ones. I quite like those ones.
Yeah.
That one, Warrior's Brush, I really like that.
Right, that's all fine. What about the techniques? We've got 4 points to put in. Let's assign them. Sharpie. What does this do? Add shrapnel to the black powder bomb, increasing its damage and blast radius. Helpful. Smoke bomb fumes restore some health. Helpful. Direct hit with a sticky bomb kills the target, causes a bigger blast radius. Yeah, it's pretty good. Alright, we'll take that one. What else we got? Far hearing. Mental fortitude. I think far hearing's probably going to be the most useful to me now. Stealth hearing. Move faster while focused hearing. That's useful. And that's us.
Yeah.
So, take a look at the collections. We're pretty much half or over halfway for all of them, so hopefully by next time I've got more of them maxed out.
Vanity gear, you can pick up a lot of that just with that Wind of Vanity. That will lead you to not only sword pillars, but also to like head pieces and things that are just like lying around.
Yeah, I've actually been doing some of that. Don't think there's anything really worth showing you. Oh, hey, don't re-equip me when I upgrade stuff. Don't do that. Sake, right, Traveller's attire back on. Oh, you
We're
changed
hitting the road.
You changed my headpiece as well. I wanted to be the deer hunter. Where's the Tsushima banner guy? That's the last thing I want to do.
So he's up in the building, just here, yeah.
Yeah, he's been wanting me to come speak to him for like 4 weeks now, and I've just been patching him, so.
More horse armor.
Yeah. But how much will you pay for it?
Oh, Todd. Just upgrade your computers, guys.
There was something.
It just works.
There was something that I was going to say just as a final thing. Oh, yeah, Evil Dead's dead.
Evil Dead's dead.
Yeah, remember that game that came out a couple of months ago and it was free on PS Plus, and it was they were trying to be like they were trying to be DBD but just with Evil Dead instead of just letting Ash be in DBD, which is like the normal. Is he not in DBD actually?
He might be.
I'm like 90% sure that he's actually in that game because I think I bought it because I had the intention. It was like £2. And my friends were hassling me to play a DVD with them, and I was like, all right, I'll preemptively buy this in case I ever cave because I want to play as Ash. And then they put an alien in it, so now I'm like, oh fuck, right, okay. But yeah, like, I'm almost positive he's in that. So the fact that they did their own separate game at all was just weird, and it just, to quote the best Star Wars movies, sheer fucking hubris, right? God, a load of dog shit. Anyway, that's it from us.
Thank you for joining us once again, folks, and we'll be back on Thursday.
Yeah. Bizzle.
Bye.
And I do this every week. There we go.